and welcome back to the second part of this tutorial. Okay, now let me start work with variable declaration and we can put together some functions. So the first thing I'm going to do right underneath the frames, I'm going to declare my variables. So the first one I've just called our student ID equals, it's going to be a string variable. There we go. And let's go for first name equals that. Okay, and so on. Okay, those are all my variables taken care of. Now let's start work with function declaration. So the very first function I'm going to take care of, that will be my, let's go for exit. For the exit, let's say I exit there. That should be an F. Alright, come right down here. Now I exit equals tkinter. Okay, this very tkinter that is declared up there. Okay, now I am making use of it. Tkinter equals, or I exit equals tkinter.messagebox dot ask yes or no. Ask yes or no. Double click on that, and let's come in here at the very first argument, that will be MySQL connection. Okay, and I'm going to enter the second argument, which is going to be confirm if you want to exit. There, that's the second argument. Alright, if selection made equals, if it's greater than 0, then root dot destroy, enter parentheses and return. There we go. So exit is taken care of. I'm going to copy that. Let's go straight to our button called exit and call the command. That's exit there. Let's enter command equals exit there. So I'm going to run that and let's make sure the exit works. Click on exit. Nope. Click on exit again. Yes. Exit is working. Now let's come down here. Okay, the next, that will be, I'm going to call that reset. The next function is going to be for my reset. There we go. And for the reset, I'm just going to call all of these, let's say entry. Copy that and paste that right here. Entry, that is going to become dot delete equals comma end. Okay, I'm going to repeat the same thing for the others and just change the names around. One more, and this will be different. Paste that in there. That's going to be dot set equals there. Right, and this is going to be first name surname address this one is going to be mobile Okay, that is that taken care of. But I notice some of my widgets are still called in txt. That must be an error. Very bad attitude, or very. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to press Ctrl H and just replace that. Every single txt, replace them with ent. Replace all. There we go. All done. See, I got used to that using event-driven programs like Visual Basic, C# and so on. Okay, so that is taken care of. So let's call this inside a command, the very command that is known as reset. So come right down here, comma, equals there. That's taken care of. Now, you see all of these variables are meant to assign them to each of the widgets here. So let's come in here and just say, comma, text variable equals that. That's the very first one. I might as well just press enter. So I'm going to have to repeat the same thing for the others. So let's just copy and paste. So this is going to be comma, press enter, paste. That's for first name. First name. Come right down here. We have surname next. Comma, press enter. Surname, address. Comma, press enter. And this one as well. Then we'll come and change it around. And the last one here, comma, press enter. And this is mobile. Copy, paste. Okay, the next one is gender. Copy, paste it right there. And here, address. So that's me now assigning all of my variables that we declared. This is surname. Paste. And first name is taken care of. Student ID is taken care of. Alright. So that's fine. Now, let's run it and see. I'm just going to enter some values in there. Then try the command button called reset. Just enter whatever in there. And that's good. So that's working. Exit. Yes. Alright. Okay, those are the easy ones. Now let's take care of our database. I'm going to show you guys the database I intend to use. This is it right here. Okay, let me show you the layout of that very database. You guys should know how to create database by now, so it's no big deal. Those are my fields. Okay, using MySQL. You can also use PHPMyAdmin. The choice is yours, anyone you use. The only difference is you might not have to enter a password into PHPMyAdmin. Apart from that, it's all the same anyway. Maybe one of these days I will knock one of those out for you guys to see. And there are a lot of tutorials on YouTube anyway. Okay, now the next one here, I'm going to just enter. So the name of that is going to be add data. There. And this will add data. I'm going to use an if statement. If surname, no, ID. Let's go for student ID first. If the student ID dot get equals nothing, equals nothing, or the first name dot get equals nothing as well, equals nothing. Okay, let's do another one for surname, and the same thing applies to the surname. Let's copy all of this and copy surname separately, and surname happens to be empty as well. Enter a column in there. Then we want a message from MyTkinter. I'm just going to copy this and change the message around. Now, the dialog message, I'm going to change that to show error. Okay, if I press enter, I should be able to see something that says show error. It's a show. That's it right there. Look at it. Okay, so that's an error for an error message there. So in this case, you can just enter, let's say, enter correct details. Enter correct details. That's it. Done. Okay, the next one is, that is if it's empty. If it's not empty, what I want the system to do, I'm going to just say else. I'm going to now create an SQL con for my connection. That's what I'm going to call my variable. I want you to connect to Pymysql dot connect, and I want you to grab the host, and the host happens to be my local host. There. That is the host. Look, there should be an A here. The local host, which means my system, anyway, my laptop. And the next one is user. My user is going to be the root, equals root. Okay, and finally, this is very important, your password. If you are using MySQL, then you need a password. So my password that I've made up, there we go. That's the password that I'm going to be using, or that I've already installed on my system, comma, and the name of my database, I've actually called that database trainee. Okay, not trainer, it's called training. So I'm going to say database equals trainee, and close that there. So it's looking fine for now. So okay, there we go. Now the next thing is, I'm now going to say cursor equals MySQL con dot cursor, just like you have in using SQLite. That's how it is here as well. You would have seen it on my system. Then cursor dot, or like now to execute, and this is where we now have to enter our SQL statements. So in there, I'm going to ask you to insert into my table that is called trainee. Okay, and enter the following values. And those values, because we don't know, I'm just going to represent them with that comma. I have 6 of those, so let's copy, paste, paste, paste. There we go. Close that. Close this, comma, and I'm now going to list where those data will come from. Those data will come from my variable here. There's the variable. There we go. I'm going to copy all of this. Come right down here and just paste it right underneath here. paste, and I will then change some values around. Okay, so I'm going to ask you to get those values from these variables. Paste, comma, must enter a comma there. Okay, repeat the same thing for the others. There we go. See how easy it is, guys. So yeah, if you notice, I've opened up one parenthesis here and another one, and that means I will have to close it twice. There, closed. Now we now need to get our connectors. Ask your connector to execute connector dot commit, and you also need to close the connector. So I'm going to come right down here and let me say dot closed. There. Now the next thing I'm going to do is, the choice is yours, you don't have to, but this is just practice. I'm going to copy this just to display a message box saying, just to display a message saying, well, data updated or whatever. Paste that, and let's change this. I'm going to get rid of that because it's not asking. This is an information, so I'm going to use the method show information. That's it, show an info. So in there I'm going to just say record entered successfully. Successfully. There, and that is it. Okay, I'm going to try out this function that we just created. Copy that, and let's go straight down to the button. Right here, that's the button there. Comma, let's say command equals there. Okay, so if I run it now, I should be able to click on that very button. Once I enter some data in there, let's say, oh, how come I have 5? It should be 6. It's not going to give me the right thing. So let's say the name is King. King Morehouse. It's going to give me an error because surname is not there. If I click on this, there we go, I have an error, so something is wrong. Let's go up here. Okay, this is supposed to be in a frame on its own. That's supposed to be on its own frame. This is why I always enter lines. So instead, this should have been 0, and this would be 0, 0, 0, and this is 1, 1, 1, 1. Okay, this will be 2, 2, and 3, 3. Okay, so let's run it and see. Run. I should have 5, 6 altogether. There we go. Alright, but there's something. This is too long. So let's come right here. Remember me changing this to 14 instead of 12. Make that 12. Run. Okay, so let's try out our database. Okay, but just before I enter any data, let me show you guys the database. That is the database. So we're going to make up some new names. Take a good look at the database. Okay, because we're going to have to refresh it. I'll close that and let's come in here. I'm going to enter 9,000. Okay, let's say 90,000 as the reference number or student ID number. And the name, let's look for a name we'll remember. Let's call it John Johnson. An address, I'm going to say number 19, Little Kilburn, London, and mail, and right here the phone number. There. So I'm going to click on add. It's now going to display here. There we go. That's it. Record entered successfully. Click on OK. The record is there. So let's come in here. You won't be able to see that until we refresh it. So I'm going to kind of like refresh the whole lot and open it back. And that should be 9,000. 90,000. Let's come down here. There we go. That's it. John Johnson. There. 19 Little Kilburn. So that's it right there. So the database is working. That's fine. Okay. And let's create another function that I would refer to as DisplayData. So I'm going to copy from here down here and just come right down here. Paste that in there, and I'm going to maybe copy these ones as well. Paste, and let's modify. So this we have to go get rid of all of this and change this to display data. Right. Okay, this is all correct up to here. I'm going to get rid of this. So that should be select from trainee and get rid of all of this and this. That goes to okay, select from trainee, right, and let's declare a local variable here that I will call that local variable result equals cursor dot fetch. Let's say fetch all there, and if let's get it linked result is not equals to 0. So that means when we check it and if it's not equals to 0, then this is what we want the system to do. So that will be student record dot delete star self dot, that's actually student record dot get underscore child underscore children, really. There. Now let's use a for loop. For row in result, okay, whatever row we have inside results, student self.student records insert as follows, and that will be comma and values equals row. Close that, and that's it. I'm now going to call this. Grab that. Let's go straight down. Go straight down to the button called display. Where is it? There we go, right here. Comma, command equals that. Alright, so let's run. Okay, there we go. That's our database. So to view all of the information we have in here, okay, so all we just need to do is to click on this button here. Oh, we don't need this there. Okay, record. No, that's not required. Alright, there we go. So I'm going to close that, and let's take care of the rest. Okay, we'll go right up there and just get rid of this. We don't need that there. Get rid of that there. Okay, let's take care of something else. In the first place, you see this display? I can always call it as well inside my, okay, so that the system officially just displays it automatically on the table. So instead of me clicking on that, but the choice is yours if you want it that way. Okay, now let me show you to you what's going to happen instead of me clicking on the button. So let's run it first. Run. There we go. There, you see that? That automatically displays. But if I comment that out, that means we have to use the button. So the choice is yours either way. That's alright by me. At least you know what to do. So click there. Alright, so that's fine. Now let's continue. Okay, let's go back up there. We now want to be able to click on the table itself. So I'm going to come right down here. Let's call that, I'm going to call that training info, and get it evaluated. Alright, so the first thing is, let's declare a local variable. I'm going to call view info, and that is equals to the self.student records. Paste, and in there I want the following. I want it to get focused, right? And the next thing is, let's declare another variable. I'm going to call that learner data, and the learner data equals self dot, let's just paste that, self dot student record dot item, and the item is going to be view information, view info. There we go. Now another local variable, I'm going to call that row equals learner data, this very one, paste it there. It's going to be equals to whatever value I have in here, values there, and the very first value is going to be the student ID, this very one here. So I'm going to grab all of this, come right down here and paste, get it indented properly there, and right here is going to be set row, and the very first row is going to be 0. There we go. And repeat the same thing for the others. Copy, that will be 1, and so let's change it. This is 1. We have 2, 3, 4, and 5 there. So I will now call this very one. Let's get it binded to the table. Let's look for the table. There. Yeah. So right there, I'm going to get this table. Let's copy all of this, paste it here, and we enter bind. And let's open up a bracket, and this very bracket will include the following. First of all, we need to specify, and what we're specifying will be as follows. So let's enter button release -1 there. Okay, so we can try that out now. So let's run it and see. Run. Okay. There. Display. When I click on this, there we go. Look at it. That's fine. Alright, I'm going to close that. There. That's working. Okay, the next function is going to be for my updates. So I'm going to call that function update. There we go. And for function updates, let's do one thing. Copy all of this. Let's go here. Where is it? Why is my function update here? No, I'm going to move it. Let's put it where my functions are. Cut it off. Functions. There we go. Paste. And I'm just going to copy everything here. Let's see. From here, take it down. Copy. Come right down here and paste it underneath here. Then we modify. For update, in the case of update, that will be the SQL statement will be update, the name of my table, okay, and I'm going to set as follows. Set first name equals %, let's say S, and repeat the same thing for surname and so on. Okay, the only amendment is just me adding all of my fields. There we go. Right, now the next thing I want to do is, all of these are correct apart from this. I have to put this right underneath. Cut that off and just place it right there. There we go. And get rid of this comma there. Okay, you get it. Yes, and that is fine. And I'm going to change this information here. Okay, record updated successfully. There. Okay, what else do we need to do? Okay, we can just take care of, let's call this, I'm going to call this inside the update button. Scroll right down, update, command equals update. Right. Okay, let's try out the update function. Run. Okay, display, and grab anything in there. That is Samson. Okay, let's change his surname to Jonathan. there. Alright, and maybe change his phone number. There we go. Now click on update. That's Samson right there, so we expect the surname and the telephone number to change. There we go. Look at that, surname change and the telephone number changes. Okay, we now need to deal with 1, 2, so we may have to just speed that up. Okay, let's scroll to our function there, and I'm going to, for the delete, I'm just going to copy. Let's copy this. Can change things around. Paste, and this I'm going to change the name to delete DB. So DB, and in here change the SQL statement to delete. That will be from my table. So I'm going to get rid of this, all of this. Delete from where my student ID equals student ID. So let's enter that in here. That will become, and that will be student ID dot get there, and close that off. Now the other amendment will be, let's come right down here. There isn't much again, just copy this and delete those, and in here I cannot then include an information record successfully or record deleted, or okay, let's say record successfully deleted. There we go. Okay, that's deleted, taken care of. Let me call this. I'm going to call it right inside the button. Come right down here, and where's my delete button? There we go, that's it. Comma equals delete. Now that's fine. Let's take care of the search function. So I'm going to come right down here, press enter, and now just call that search DB. There. For search DB, I'm going to copy all of these as well. Copy, and okay, let's copy everything. Then we can modify and just paste it right underneath here. Scroll down and let's start work with our modification. This is fine, that's fine, and this should become select from. That'll be all. Select all from the name of my database where the ID equals this. That is fine. And here, and I need to enter the role. Let's say the role, that's a local variable, equals cursor dot fetch. Let's say fetch all parentheses. Now I need to change this. Let's copy those. I need to get the names of my data right here. Copy those and bring it right down here. Paste there. Okay, we don't need this. I'm going to get rid of that. Close. Alright, but one other thing is, let's assume the record is not there. We can just say no such record found. No such record found. Now let's do one thing. I'm going to use try as follows. get all of these indented up to here. Format, indent. Okay, and right underneath here I'm going to enter an exception. Except, enter that. So if the record is now found, I expect this statement to display. So let's grab this statement, cut that off and paste it right underneath here. There we go. Get it indented. Okay, and I can even come in here and just call my reset function. Resets. Yeah. And I should call the reset function inside my delete as well. Let's go here. There's the delete. That's the delete. Paste. Right. Okay. So one thing that is left is, let me call this inside my, let's attach it to the button. Let's look for search button, come right here, comma, command equals there. So we can now run it because I think I'm all ready to run. It's all done. Yeah, all done. Okay, that's a very detailed tutorial for you guys, so I'm going to run and see. So let's run. Click. There we go, guys. So let's display, and right in here let's look for duplicated data, like I have Tony Montana there. Okay, so click on that and select delete. Yeah, Tony Montana is gone. Okay, so the delete is working. Now let's search for the name in there. So let's come in here and look for 71020. I'm using this very widget here as my search. Okay, now click on search. There we go. Look at that. That is working as well. Okay, and we can also update. So let's assume we want to update this data now, or add. Let's update. We have, let's change the details here. So we just change all of these to 55. Let's say Ghost Town Road, or Ghost Town Road. So that is Santana there. So let's look for Santana. That's Santana there. So let's go to update. That is Santana. Look at it. It's number 41 Arlington Road. So let's change that. Update. Come right down here. Look at it. It's changed already. There. Okay. So with that, guys, I'm going to call it the end of this tutorial. I suppose you guys enjoyed. And please do subscribe to my channel. And you can also join to become a member of the channel. You all have a nice day now. And bye for now.